Hello. Welcome to the VOD. Tomorrow's a stress test. Hope you guys come join us. Should be an interesting display. See if the old bot pops off here. Come on, me6 bot. I believe. What's up, Magnus? Not too much, man. Just, oh, man. Looks like my obs is lagging a little bit. That's a little bit concerning. Let me know if there's any stream lag going on. Yeah, less than 24 hours to go. Is everything going? Am I moving? Is it lagging? Is the stream lagging? Hey guys. Looks good. Hey, thank you, Revere. That's mildly concerning, at least. Thanks, Derp Alert. Good to see you. Hey, Class and Cool. Dev Trav. Sevas. Whisk. Crago. Pipes. Jordanox. Cuzzo. Chaz Solo. Nate's Code. Joe. Evo Supreme. Say hi to Emmy and Vivi. Hi, Emmy and Vivi. Hey, Twin Cannon. Rowdy Rickshaw. How's everybody doing tonight? Hey, Temptations, we in there. Cheers. Hey, how's it going, Sorvin? Tsunami-san? How's the music level? Is it too loud or anything? Stress test early launch? I mean, wouldn't be opposed, but I don't know. It might break something. Music is good. Okay. When does the test start again? So tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and it runs through Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Music is a little bit low, if anything. January 1st, EA or we riot? Okay, Dirt. So yeah. How's beta coming along? We're making some strides towards it, for sure. Definitely lighting the fire under us. Myself included. So. So anyways, I'm gonna hop into the server and see what's going on, you know? See what is going on. What's up, John NS? Minute. Minuche. Is that how you pronounce it? Sorry, I don't know. That's a word. But anyways, oh, look, it's the server, guys. We're in it. We're in it to win it. Nobody's around, so I'll just cheat. So yeah. Do we need to download a new launcher? So, that I am unsure of. Because I don't believe Ollie, like, I think he is probably going to be working on it, like, after we go to sleep. Most of us go to sleep in this time zone. And then he'll probably push it out at that point. It would be my guess. We're also... I've been looking at some of the things popping up on Alpha and trying to see if we can... We've been getting some fixes for stuff pretty fast, but kind of bugging Ollie about getting maybe a new build out to fix some things. I've hotfixed some data things. What's up, Spinal Dash? Man, I hope my stream VOD isn't laggy, my local recording. I might have to, like, download it from Twitch or something this time to upload it. Super pumped because I get to stream this game on Regiment's platform tomorrow, an hour after stress test launch, trying to spread the word. This legendary game. Cool, man. Hey, Red Wrist. Back-to-back Nick streams. Scenes getting spicy. Yeah, it's fun. I get, like, really addicted to streaming, I guess. I don't know, it's fun. Especially when you guys show up and chat with me. And, you know, the Kirklands, I think that's the true addiction, really. Gives me a good reason to drink a little cold brew. At 8:42 p.m., it's not a wise decision night before stress test, but hey. You know? You only live once, right? So. Max level gonna be on initial launch, level 60. Boncolio. Who needs sleep? That's right. Hey, how's it going, Talit? Good to see you, man. So yeah. Super stoked for tomorrow. We'll be doing casual streaming mainly as a hobby over on Rumble. Excited to see the new server optimizations, performance improvements would be a huge win for the game. All right, let's go check out what the, So I don't know that we're actually on the correct hardware, yet. Like, I don't know if this is like a mirage or something. Like, Ollie's like a wizard, right? So I don't know, like, if he, like, moves that all over at some point. But this may be the correct... I think this may be it. So let's see what the, Oh god, if Night Harbor is the only zone up at the moment, then I might be screwed for a second. Hey, how's it going, Katie? Good to see you. Just got the notification. Nice, Justin Beard. Look at that load time. Mmm. So delicious. So good. Bro, it's Saturday. Let us in. It's 8:44 on a Friday for me. This is your first Twitch? Hey, well, welcome. Oh, let's do it again. Let's just load. So this is into Night Harbor. Pretty decent. Except I'm not on the road. That makes me sad, but... Load times brought back EQ nostalgia. Let's check out Wormsbane. Nice load times compared to last playtest. Yeah. So hopefully they hold up at scale too, right? And like... So it's going to be an interesting playtest, right? Like, we've hit concurrent peak numbers, like, going into, like, what? 1700s, 1800s, maybe? Like... When is the last time we tried to get all those people on one server? So it's going to be scary nonetheless, and maybe laggy, It's definitely gonna be overcrowded. Like, but hey, hopefully it's fun. Like, it would be cool to just be in a new world together with a ton of other people. And then we'll figure out the rest, right? Like, we'll figure... If anything breaks, we'll figure that out. If things are overcrowded, which they will be... Oh, that was kind of weird. If things are, you know, too overcrowded, we'll figure that out as well. Add more camps, add more spawns. But yeah, you know, like, I'm hyped for it. Look at that! Holy. Hey, how's it going, Mary Bathtub? Good to see you in the stream. Yeah, that load time is insane. Gazik, aka SEAN Sean. It's the man. He saving the game, you know? Just look at that. But yeah, too fast. We're gonna have to add artificial load time onto this, you know? Slick cut. Thank you, Ghastly. Pronounced Sheen. You're loading faster with that haircut? Dude, I actually do feel like I load faster with the haircut, yeah. Eminem made me start Project Quorum. I need to scratch the itch after the last test. Are you a former EverQuest player, Void Song? Or is this your first foray into it? Nick, where are the cheat codes? You know, hold on. Gotta type them in. Gotta get my speed hack going. Oh. Yeah, we gotta fix that lighting in the cave there. That insta pop. If average latency is 25 to 50% as much improvement, the game will feel buttery smooth, and that will get a huge win. So one thing that we've done is kind of, and hopefully we'll hotfix some of the issues that we discovered with it. There's a couple small bugs with it that shouldn't be too bad, but there's a lot of like client prediction going on now, with, especially in regards to ability casting. So even in the event of a little bit of lag, it will probably just feel smoother in general, because we're doing what many other MMOs do now with the kind of ability cast time prediction. So even that will smooth things out a little bit. But in general, we've also just optimized the server a whole ton. I think we've done maybe some small client optimizations. You'll probably still run into a memory leak or two. However, we have a pretty good line on that. And for the November test, I think Gazik is going to be doing several client optimizations as well. Though there already has been some, some nice improvements, I think, in that regard. So, yeah, it's just going to keep getting better, especially with Gazik on board. And, yeah, our other programmers will be able to focus on their areas, and yeah, the game's just, it's going up. Played on Rallus X, I'm old school EQ. Hell yeah, you're gonna be playing on Heragel this test. So the plan for the stress test is likely we're going to have Sorafel. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. Citation needed. Sora? Does anyone know? I don't know. Sorofal is going to be the combined Rel and Krivia server. So there's going to be only Night Harbor open at the beginning. Heragel will probably not be open at the beginning. So we're going to cram everybody into Night Harbor on Sorofal. And yeah, see what happens. After that, we'll open all the other zones on Sorofal, and we'll open all of Heragel. And then, yeah, we'll conclude the rest of the 35-hour test throughout Saturday and Sunday. Get Lasav on the phone? Yeah. Any patch notes for the stress test? Yeah, I should put those together, huh? Look for them tomorrow morning. I'll probably... Where's my... I gotta set an alarm. I should set my alarm now just so I don't fall asleep. Or continue sleeping. So it's gonna be at noon my time. Maybe get up at like 10:30 at the latest. And yeah, I'll be probably streaming. I'll be filling in as like the Sean placeholder, because Sean is, you know, he's in live action at this very moment, fighting the good fight. The trenches, you know. So, yeah. Has a decision been made on spell sets yet? We desperately need a less bad way to change an entire bar. No decision has been made either way. We've been holding off from doing spell sets. We need to see if we're all aligned on doing spell sets. The one thing I will say is we do like the kind of visceral feeling of actually doing the thing, right? Whether it be like clicking, and then or like pressing like the hotkey or whatever individually. So yeah, but we obviously see the benefit of it. That was a nice addition to EverQuest. I don't think anyone, I don't know. I'm sure some people missed it, but probably in the minority, right? You have a stockpile of Imodium for this weekend? Oh, okay, Justin Beard. So like an hour before the test starts for those notes. Could be, yeah. And then maybe we'll figure out some of the known issues. Get those on a list if we're not able to patch them. Let's see. Did I miss anything? When will the game finally be out? Oh, sorry, I missed your question, Mary Bathtub. The game will finally be out. Our target is Q1 2026. So sometime, January, February, March. We're obviously targeting January, but, we're leaving the flexibility in there. If we need to go a little bit longer, we can do that. So, yeah. New launcher still on the docket. So, yeah, I'm hoping so. Ollie has not released it yet, as far as I know. I was testing a version of it the other night and still had an issue. So be on the lookout for it. What he says in Discord overnight and early this morning, that will probably be the time it gets all determined. And regardless, make sure you have the old launcher ready. Please download the client right now. Update. The potential release candidate build is on the patcher, so yeah, go ahead and get patched up. What's up, sup, baby? Love this kind of game because it's so close to playing D&D. Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons we all love it. LOL, you're jinxing it. Ollie's gonna wake up and repatch last minute. Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I'm the guy who's always peer pressuring Ollie to like, we need one more build, man. Just one more. We gotta fix this, and this. So eventually that's gonna backfire. We're gonna do it, and then we could all blame everything on me. So every patch has new cool stuff. Yeah, it's definitely getting to a cool place. Like, let's see. We've got our immobilizing trap. Wait, hold on. I can't spell, apparently. Rising trap. Oh, actually, no, this is... I think I made it a little bit bigger. It may still need to be a little bit bigger yet, but we've got a little trap. And, yeah, love it. You downloaded it already? Good. Good to be prepared. Lich did it. Yes, he did. So now we know who to blame for 0.13/15? Yeah, probably. You know what? I'm gonna take the blame for everything, guys. If anything goes wrong with this game in general, you can always blame me. You can be like, well, he was just sitting there on his stream yapping and drinking cold brews and, like, being all, you know, just chummy with the audience instead of, you know, working on the game, making the game, you know, cracking skulls. Oh, did mounts make it in, or is that still next time? Mounts shouldn't be in yet, but so we got them very close. Then we stopped working on them for a little bit to focus on some other things, but yes, they are still on the cusp of coming out. Nice, little bigger, maybe needed. Yeah, so I made it a little bit bigger. I can't tell if that is actually the case for this build. Like, I think I made it bigger, but I think actually it didn't get pulled in. So I think my version got scaled up a little bit. It's all your fault. Yes, it is my fault. Just answering questions instead of working, huh? Well, no, I'm gonna do some work right now, guys. Believe it or not. We need to do some regression testing here to make sure that the hotfix is indeed live. So let us actually quickly make a archer character. Oh god, this is a risk. Pressing random goblin names on stream. I don't know. It might get a bad name. Okay. All right, that'll do. Okay. We got Archer here. Let's hit rando. Do the things. Nick Hots, where's Nick Colds? I don't know, man. The AC's blasting. I'm getting kind of cold. Nick's Kirkland Cult. Oh yeah, speaking of that, they kind of reminded me of guild names for some reason. So it appears that guilds are not on Sorefall, so apologies in advance. I did let Ollie know, so maybe we can transfer that data over before the test starts. But if not, there might not be guilds. So yeah, Verdict is still out on that one. The other thing that has been wiped for Sorefall is housing. That will not change for sure. Housing is definitively wiped for Sorefall. However, you will find that there are a number of new housing structures to peruse and purchase. So, please enjoy this at your leisure. Rugrot goes hard, yes. Paying 10 gold to anyone that sends me a candid pic of Nick from this stream for the next merch shirt. You want me to... I don't want to be on a merch shirt. Come on, guys. Need, like, some sick Monsters and Memories art and stuff on that, and like a poop sock. Like, we don't need me on the shirt. That's ridiculous. Press 1 if you see a bad word in your mother's native language. Is the new client available to pre-download, or just have to wait until tomorrow? Yes, so you can grab the new client. Well, not the new launcher, the new client, yes. So, but go to the old launcher, select just plain old Monsters and Memories for the public test, and patch the game. Make sure you are already patched. As a SQA professional of 20 plus years, I approve of regression testing. Yeah, you know, it's an important part of the I guess software development cycle. So you got to do your regression. It's key. Raven 431, thank you for the prime. Nick proving that goblins are the most popular species? Dude, I love the goblin. Like, I was talking in goblins... By the way, if you don't follow the Goblin Works on Twitch, do that now. Guy is a savant of artistry. And, by the way, any programmers out there that want to help him out, he is actually looking for some assistant taking a couple of his side projects over the finish line. So if you want to contribute and help ship an indie game that is 90% done already, and you happen to be a C# or networking or just Unity experienced programmer, please hit up the Goblin Works. See what kind of arrangement you guys can make. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for him because I know he was talking about that last night and showing off some of the other games that he's worked on. And man, they're so close. So yeah. What's up, Shaker? Archer should totally get kick. Inquisitor should get some basic teleport spells. Yeah, I could see archers getting a form of kick. Like, it might be a ranged kick, you know? So that would be a pretty nice utility. They do have, like, a knockback that kind of functions as an interrupt. And if eventually I'd like for it to root if it makes the target contact a wall and kind of root them into place. I think it just roots them no matter what right now, and I guess a little bit... That wasn't the goal with the ability. I could use ChatGPT to help the Goblin Works. That's exactly what I told him. Like, as, you know, if you're in that kind of position and you need to just, like, optimize some code, like, there's no shame in doing a little ChatGPT, right? Especially if you don't have a programmer currently on staff. I know people that have used ChatGPT to help them with their code, and you know, for certain projects, it is a reasonable decision. I think. I don't know. I'm not a programmer, so I might just be talking out of my ass right now. So don't listen to me. A blunt arrow as a kick would be cool. Yeah. Using Unity, any interesting thoughts about using web embeds? Not for the game, but for some interesting service hooks. Keeps player engaged offline. Yeah, maybe. I think Ollie is kind of into that stuff. He's always trying to do some tech wizardry, so... yeah, that's a good question for Ollie, honestly. Let's see... Also something cool to mention, Keith just released his first game on Steam today. NecroKitty. Was it Keith? Keith G? From Monsters and Memories formerly? That's awesome. Hold on a second, guys. Let us see. Yo. I'm gonna buy this right now. Yeah, if you want to support a former programmer on the Monsters and Memories team who just released... Is this it? This has got to be it. October 3rd, 2025. Literally $1.19, guys. Like, you know? It's less than a Kirkland. Like... Just do it, right? Did you finally fire a goblin? No. We keep him around. We keep him around, you know. He's we got him chained up, but it's all right. Kind of looks like Rain World. Yeah, I'm buying this right now. Hold up. Cart. Continue to payment. Boom. Done. I'm chained up doing icons. Yeah. Get back to the icons, Goblin. Like, you got like, you know, 500 more. So, yeah, that's what you're gonna look like. That emoji there is what you're gonna look like after you're done making all the icons. So, Looks like a good Steam Deck game. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so Keith was on the project for many a year and was also the founder of the Mandrake Farms YouTube channel. So did a lot of the early Monsters and Memories YouTube content in terms of like taking Sean's streams and editing them down, cool clips and stuff. And he did a lot of the foundational UI work and just devotion and got the UI into a really good place. And then so yeah, support him, support his game. That's really cool. Congratulations, Keith, if you're out there. If not, then I have to hit you up. That's good, Goblin. I'm glad. That's an important part of this this project is the friends you make along the way, right? Fans of Costco, happy to report new food court items: a caramel brownie, vanilla sundae, and chef salad and combo calzone. Dude, I gotta hit up Costco. Food court ASAPly. Okay. So about that regression testing, let us check what is going on here. Oh, I may have to reload all the zones. Hold on. Let us do that. You tried the calzone, you liked it? Okay, okay. You aren't getting any dev done, come play with us. 54, 57, 57 in glass slats. Interesting. How are you in glass slats right now as a level 54 and 57? Huh? You know? Hey, how's it going, Vanifac? Good to see you, man. Cheers. Biscuit NA. Good evening. My Costco food court is under construction. Hot dogs still available, though. Dude. Your life is about to change for the better. But yeah, if you could still get the hot dogs, that's solid. Alright. Let me give myself... buy a level 10 spell. Alright, let's give myself like 1,000 plat. That should be good. Anyways. Mobilizing trap. Requires level 10. Okay. Let's do the thing. Doing great. Glad to see you streaming more. Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. Like, I used to do this, apparently, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. I am getting addicted to streaming again, and yeah, it's a good time. It really is. What server am I on again? Am I on Herodrel? No, I'm on Sorrowful. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna just double check this now. So this works. I need to check this on Herodrel though. So let's do that real quick. Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, I might not be able to access Herodrel right now. Unfortunate. Yeah, concerned about where those dogs are coming from then? I just had a hot dog tonight. The old glizzy. It's delicious. It was like, it wasn't a Costco dog. It was Chicago style joint that we have. Which is nice because there isn't many, like, I mean, I'm in the burbs, so there isn't many great, like, Chicago style hot dog places, weirdly enough, like, specifically where I'm at, but there is this one place that has popped up and has been pretty good, so. My follow 5 years ago was well worth it. Yeah, it was funny, like, this project started, I streamed maybe, like, once or twice, and then I was like, alright, AFK 4 years. You know, like, I had a lot to do, like, so... Anyways, let's go back on Sewerfall. I'm trying to think. What else did I have to fix real quick? Oh, I think I already checked this, but let's check it again. We had a place to did good hot dogs, but shut down a couple years back. Oh man, sorry to hear that. Would the team consider giving us paper dolls and a simplified window for our Beastmaster companions? Oh yeah, absolutely. That is definitely in the cards. It's something that I've wanted for quite a while. You think you followed during Legacy of Ick? For Ick, dude. Yeah, that was such a fun, like the release night, Legacy of Ick. And I was just playing, you know, like anonymously on my guy and having fun. Yeah. Nick, hear me out. I got to spend all of tomorrow with my girlfriend. I won't be able to play. Is there a way I could check it out tonight? Maybe if we run a little giveaway and you happen to be the winner. How about that, Lightyear? Lightyear Gill. We got a few Portillos where I'm at. My buddy at work from Chicago says they're good enough. Yeah, like... Yeah, Portillo's dog is solid, I guess. Obviously they're known for their Italian beef sandwiches, cheese fries, and chocolate cake. But, yeah. Greatest news, WDev team? The winner or one of the winners? That's a good question. Have to determine that. Huh? I should bring up the page right now. What is it? Stream giveaway. Streamer giveaway. Okay. Bring that up. Oh, by the way, guys, keep an eye on some of the other streams. We got Zook and Sculpts. We've got the Goblin Works. We've got ZBrushed. Is he still streaming, by the way? We've got obviously a Loving Robot. We've got Chinny D. We've got Pattis the Ranger. So make sure you're following all these these wonderful, fine gentlemen. And yeah, so I did a little giveaway on Zukin's stream the other night, and I and Goblin we're talking, we're communicating. He tends to stream at like 2-3 a.m. and I'm like about to fall asleep, and then he's on, and then I'm like up for another hour just shooting the shit. So yeah, keep an eye out on those streams as well. And yeah, you never know what can happen. Are treasure maps inspired by Shards of Dahlia? If so, do you like any of their other ideas? Yeah, they are inspired by Shards of Dahlia, actually. What a great server, by the way. I think somebody on our team is actually related to one of the devs, which is pretty cool. Yeah. As far as their other ideas, I'd have to think about it. I know some of them off the top of my head. I'm trying to think, because I know they've got like that special teleport zone, which is kind of cool. Molag, BBD, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Welcome. I have to think about it. You know, I'm gonna have to peruse their wiki again here soon, because they are chock full of good ideas. The things that I probably am not as big of a fan of is some of the different modernization stuff. Like, obviously, some of the modernization stuff is good, and I like it in theory, but would it be the correct decision for Monsters and Memories? That would be where I would question it, right? But yeah, they have a lot of really good ideas. Those guys have been developing that for so long, so it's chock full of good ideas. Level locked names, enemies were cool. Did they do that? Interesting. Sorry for ruining your sleep, Nick. Don't worry about it. It's cool, man. Hey, how's it going, Tellin? Good to see you. Anyone play on the Hidden Forest server? I did play on a dad server way back when. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I remember doing like the dragon expansion on it, like dragon expansion zones. What was it called? Is it called like Nagafin's? I don't know if it was Nagafin's Lair. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what that server was called. Any chance we could get the option to display ranged weapon over melee by default? Oh. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let me write that one down. Let us see. Gotta find the right document. Okay. No. Where are you, document? Oh, there. Ability to show ranged weapon by default. Looks better on Archer / Ranger. Yeah, I could definitely get that. Sleep is cheap. Memories are forever. Sleep is how you store your memories. Yep. Yeah, they had the adepts. You couldn't engage them above whatever level they were. Tough / radish level locked. Yeah, so, I mean, we're kind of doing that, I guess, with the ye old bone construct. And some of the other encounters we have. But I'll have to check out specifically more info on that. What's up, ailments? REM sleep moves short-term memories to longer-term memories. Good to know. But yeah. So let me check out to make sure that other thing is fixed real quick. Pretty sure I checked this. Oh yeah. So I never got to show you guys the conclusion of some of that Elementalist work I was doing. So I'll have to show you that real quick. I did post a video in Slack, so some of you may have seen it. Okay, so these spells are now correct. My copy-paste operation had failed to include the changing of the name, but now that's addressed, at least on the public servers. Todd made it so max level engaged was 3 levels below what the mob was. It was a cool idea, though you gotta be careful, because if the loot is too good, then people stop leveling until they get the drops. Yeah, for sure. I think if you're ever doing level lock content, it should probably... Well, level lock content that is, like, raid difficulty, like Bone Construct. Like, the theory that I had was, this should be this should be better than what you could get at level, but named gear, like, should replace it pretty quickly once you get, like, you know, 10 to 20 levels higher, right? Especially, there should be way better options. And there needs to be some better options for some of Bone Construct's loot. Obviously, he has some pretty nice stuff, and people are definitely farming him on alts and whatnot. But, yeah, there needs to be some alternative drops, so... All part of the ongoing itemization discussion that we're having on what we can do to improve. So, Blast of Water, how new is that? Very new, we just added it. So, Blast of Water will help you cause reactions with your elemental pet, and you can combine those together to create different effects. Now, not every combo has an effect yet, but there are some that do. Mazoff, thank you for the prime. Welcome. Would you consider putting level requirements on items to minimize twinking? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to control it with, like, damage caps, like AC kind of caps, and basically combat formula stuff, right? Stat, you know, efficiency per level. So there's a number of kind of levers that we're gonna do to help. We don't want to minimize twinking, but we don't want to make your twink character like literally God, right? Like we want twinking to be very good, but there's always going to be some mechanisms in place that prevent you from being like insane style. Wow, talking is hard. ZZ's required. Have you ever considered amping up Skyseer Ilya difficulty and maybe more difficulty along the lines of Bone Construct? So I believe Skyseer is currently bugged still. Skyseer is definitely a lot easier than intended at the moment. So the intention is that Skyseer is a challenge. But I do foresee me probably modifying the encounter more so that it is more interesting and more difficult. But there is a particular mechanic with Skyseer that is, I believe, is currently bugged. But I should, go ahead and test it again to verify that. Thank God I hate level caps. Yeah. It's not fun if you can't put a fungi tunic and a cloak of flames on your level 1 monk, right? Like, it's just not fun. Like, you gotta be able to do that. The only thing that really has level requirements would be like procs and clickies and stuff. That's one area where we will kind of keep the status quo on is certain effects, and I think that's a reasonable thing, right? It gives you something to look forward to, but it doesn't like make the item invalid. That sounds disappointing. We'll trivialize all of the early progression. Well, I don't think it necessarily does. Like, it definitely does some trivializing, but I don't think that it's going to, make it just... You can be insane, right? Like, that's not the goal with that. The goal with it is that you can take cool stuff and throw it on your alt, and then you kind of have a new Game Plus experience, and it's fun, and it's, like... I think most people that are coming to this game, especially from EverQuest, really like twinking, and so that's, we're making a game for the fans, really. We're not saying... I mean, there's a number of things that obviously we've decided on and that we want and, can be a little bit, like, things that people complain about, right? But, largely, we are making a game for the target audience of this game. And I hope you guys see that in our design choices and whatnot. So, yeah. At the same time, it could be not having a fungi monk absolutely wrecking all of Kern's. Yes. That is true, right? Like, though I think with our approach to customer service and our approach to like play nice policies and stuff, and our aggressive kind of moderation of the servers, that hopefully that we keep a lot of that in check so that there isn't like a lot of zone disruption and a lot of like, people just stealing mobs and stuff like that. But I definitely hear you on that, Vanifact. That's definitely a concern. And, hopefully we could do some cool stuff too, like where, obviously we have like a self-found mode, we've got a hardcore mode, you can combine those two. So there will be ways to kind of replay the game in a forced kind of challenge mode, right? So, yeah. And maybe there's even rule set servers, right, that come in the future that have different ways of doing things so that people that prefer a certain style of gameplay can go play on those servers or again with those challenge modes and kind of enjoy the game the way they believe it was meant to be made, right? Like, everyone has a difference of opinion on exactly how things should be, so giving the option to sometimes modify how that works is, I think, a good thing. No matter what you do, some people are still going to complain. Yes, absolutely. Smart. So tired of the everything for everyone game. That turns into boring slop. Yeah. Definitely. Is there a way for us to monetarily support the game / company at this time? So right now at this time, there's no way to monetarily support the game or the company itself. Pretty much the only thing you can do to support the team at this juncture is like, you know, people that are subscribing to our Twitch channels or donating to our, you know, to our like coffee links and stuff like that. That's really the only way, is to support individual people on the team. However, there's no way to like buy into the alpha or beta. There's no way to essentially donate to the project yet, buy any merch. We're not going to take anybody's money. We as a company are not going to take anybody's money for a game that is not released yet. And we're only going to start taking money when we have our game launched into early access. So yeah, it's just what we wanted to do since the beginning of the project. We're sticking to it. Nick, how do we troll people on this game? We'll talk about it off stream. There's a lot of ways to troll people. I'm an expert troll, so I'll give you some pointers. Well, you got to be careful because I'm also policing the game in a way. So, you know, if you get too crazy, we might have to put you in jail for a bit, right? So, is progress from this test going to carry over? Yes, progress from this test is going to carry over. It will not be wiped until early access launch. So even if for some reason we decided to go back to Rel and Krivia, resplit it back, the progression will continue on. We're all waiting for that merch shop. I want a plushie ogre. Yeah, gotta get the plushie ogres. I gotta get the gnome body pillows. When am I gonna release the plush? Yeah, so the merch shop will come. Maybe I'm a liar. Maybe it'll come like really shortly before early access, but probably just at or after early access slightly. But yeah. Chat a name mob and go hold it hostage all day? Yeah. Too many companies are putting their hands out asking for money before they have a near complete project. Yeah, you know, there are a lot of companies doing that. And to be fair, like, game investment is in a very, very bad spot. So, you know, a lot of these teams and companies have no choice but to do that. But yeah, I mean, there is a certain degree of people and companies taking advantage of this fact and, you know, like, might not mean completely well or, you know, had the best intentions but just aren't getting there, right? So it's definitely a concern. You should definitely, you know, be careful about that kind of stuff, right? And yeah, hopefully, you know, our project can serve as an example of what you can do if you do get a group of talented people together and passionate about something and just put in the work and kind of do it the old-fashioned way, right? But it is not for everybody, right? There's just, you know, not everybody has the luxury of being able to work on a side project like this for years on end. So I definitely empathize with people and teams out there that need to go that route. And there are a lot of legit people out there doing that. So, but yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Excited for the plush, yeah. Why did I not want a gnome body pillow before now? Damn you. Sorry. Yeah, gnome body pillow. It's gonna be great. I just want a hoodie. Yeah, it'd be nice. Hoodies in October is a good idea. Yeah, good timing. Hey Nick, do you and the team want to incentivize, foster, or encourage Zerg PvP at any point on the PvP servers? 100 plus PvP fights? I remember Sean mentioning wanting to have a faction war in Night Harbor. Would this be one of those situations, or am I misunderstanding what he was talking about? So I think what he's talking about with the faction war is a PvE centered faction war, right? Where there's different factions vying for control of Night Harbor or influence in Night Harbor. Now, would that mean on a PvP server that this is kind of amplified and kind of transitions over to the PvP side of things? Potentially. You could definitely see that. And you never know what kind of special rules we might come up with for future PvP servers. So, but in general, I'm pretty sure he was just talking about the PvE aspect of that. So yeah, but do we want to foster or encourage Zerg PvP at any point? I like a little bit of everything. I think small group or full group versus full group PvP is fun. I think large PvP battles are fun. So hopefully, there's just a mix of PvP and you get to kind of experience different types of PvP. Obviously, on some of the PvP boxes that have existed in the EverQuest emulator space, they have been really fun. Like 50 versus 50 battles in Plane of Fear over Kazakh Thule, right? Like that stuff is really cool. But yeah, small scale PvP is great as well. So I think there's room for all kinds of PvP. You stuck to your vision? Yeah. Try to as much as possible. I think we largely have for sure. What page? Oh yeah, definitely. If you guys have if you want to do any art commissions or get any art commissions done, hit up the Goblin Works here in chat. Goblin are lovely concept artists and just all around artists, really. Does so much for the project. And he's just, his artistry is a sight to behold. So hit him up, help him out and get some cool art in the process, right? Let's see. What's your position on a world map in game? Not the local area, but just showing which zones connect to each other. EQ came with a cloth map that was actually useful. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Like, I would love for us to be able to produce a cloth map and distribute that somehow, sell it maybe on the merch or what have you. So definitely into the idea, but we'll have to figure out the details on that. I still have the fold out map before Shadows of Luckland dropped. Nice. You plan on having gnome plushies for the housing area beds? Now that's an idea. Animist. Like that one. If I remember correctly, there's a cartography trainer. Yeah, there's some skill trainers in the game that are kind of more like reminders for us, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we had X? So a few of those exist. Cartography is definitely one of them because we don't have a cartography system in. But yeah. Will there be a dual command? Already is. Check this out. Wait, he made me a gnome? I just realized that. Oh man. I tried to get him. Here, hold on. Oh. We both tried to cheat. Well, I tried to cheat at least. And I was unsuccessful, so let's see here. Deep gnome plush. Now that's an idea. Yeah, we need to gotta get some deep gnome stuff, right? Need like a deep gnome flashlight. Be great. Star Citizen, 13 years of alpha. Man, Star Citizen is an interesting one for sure. I hope they're able to release something someday that people are, happy with. Let's see. Let's get back on track here. Okay. Are you gonna do any collabs later down the line? Are you talking about like streaming collabs with like the team? I would like to. I'd like to get, you know, some of the team on, and we could just, you know, do a streaming collab. I know Zukin and ZBrush like to do that from time to time, or maybe even Goblin hops on there occasionally. I don't know. I'm like kind of a weirdo. Like I just kind of just yap. So, but I'm definitely open to it for sure. It's just, you know, kind of lining up everybody's schedule, I guess. Is Sorefall staying the public test server until EA? We'll see what happens with this test, Pipe. What does your game improve on over EverQuest, and why should someone play it over EverQuest? So, I made a kind of long list of things. Let me see if I could, like, actually pull up my list. Let me see. Because this, I mean, this does ultimately get asked a lot, or kind of the statement is, why would I play this over EverQuest, right? Well, it's a new game in a new world. It's a modern graphics engine with modern lighting. It's got really cool animation bugs that occur sometimes, where your foot just kind of pops. It's there's a number of things that are streamlined and made less clunky. There is a new world, new zones to explore. There's many new systems. We're tapping into kind of a more of a sandbox kind of style world in a way, while still maintaining it being a sand park. Like it's very much a PvE centric MMO. However, we're tapping into sandbox games. We're tapping into survival games a bit. There's new music. It functions correctly. You know, there's a lot of stuff. So there's, yeah, systems, new ways of approaching things. You know, the fact that you can't play, like, so classic EverQuest exists on, to an extent, right, on emulators and stuff, but there isn't really a game, like, the live service EverQuest never really, it doesn't kind of focus on that classic experience anymore, whereas we're making a classic experience, right? So I think there's a number of reasons, and I'm not the best at articulating them. That's why I make a list, so I can just write them down and not be on the spot about it. But I think the class design is more interesting for a lot of classes. We're tapping into kind of classic WoW, where, like, it's very much a, you know, classic MMO combat system. However, we're taking ideas and kind of demaking them in a way, right? Like, you have the archer class with traps now. You've got many of the classes in the game have offensive and defensive cooldowns. We're actually having live GMs and a play nice policy. We're planning on, you know, policing our servers, kind of like in the old days, where there was GMs that kind of occupied different servers. We're just trying new stuff, and, you know, if it doesn't work out, we'll default to what is, you know, known and good. But I think, you know, the way our business plan is set up, and kind of like our kind of monetization, I think, is extremely fair. And so, yeah, like, I think there is a number of different reasons why you would want to play this game over EverQuest or other old school MMOs, right? It's yeah. So hopefully that helps. So I actually found this list. So the mud object system, of course. Okay, so we have religion as a system, traits, challenge modes with hardcore and self-found. We've got mud objects and interactions. We have placeable world objects like campfires, torches, lighting candles, stash boxes, survival skills, gathering skills. We actually have gathering in the, from a node. You don't just kill mobs and that's where you get everything from, right? There's also nodes in the game. And these nodes can be controlled by conditions. They can be controlled by the weather. They can be controlled by a number of different conditions and triggers, right? Expedition system, ownable boats, pack animals, pull carts and wagons. You can really live your fantasy experience in this kind of world, right? Like you don't have to just play the vertical progression game and level up and grind. Like we want there to be side stuff for people to do to really kind of role play who they are in this world. Consignment bags for selling loot, open world housing. So housing is a big one. Open world housing. Who's doing open world housing? In rooms, housing stalls, arbitrage. The world design is different. It's grander. It uses a modern game engine, high definition lighting. The draw distances are longer. The art style is different. It is a love letter to classic MMOs, but we're taking strides to not just be a clone. And I think people that accuse our game of just being a straight up clone, I don't think they have kind of invested enough in learning about our project or playing the game past a certain point where they can see, wow, this is actually trying to diverge and, build a new, old experience that takes a lot of cool things and puts them into one game that haven't been under one package before. So sorry for the kind of janky answer. I hope this helps. And I hope that you give our game a try, because I think, if you enjoyed EverQuest, if you enjoyed classic EverQuest, I think that this is going to be a game that you definitely like. And if you didn't play classic EverQuest, you're into newer MMOs or other older MMOs, I still think, give it a shot, see if it's something up your alley, because there's actually a lot of people, well, relatively, there's people that I know that have tried this game that never played EverQuest, and they became addicted to it. So there you go. Now I'm probably 10 years behind in chat, but that was an important one to answer, I feel. Zukin maybe taking some 3D stuff, maybe? Yeah. Oh, is he taking commissions for 3D stuff? That would be awesome. Still have my cloth map somewhere for an Avai figurine. What about the skinning trainer? So we're still figuring out what skinning is going to be, right? And we might not do the whole skinning a corpse. We might just do skinning is, you break down the pelts or whatever. So we'll see what's going on with that. That was brought up recently. Is tracking in for this stress test? Yes, it is. Ranger is the best at it. Druid, second best. Bard, third best. Printed M&M Atlas would be cool, but after EA is complete, there are lots of zones. Yes. Yeah, some of that stuff will definitely come a bit later, I would imagine, when we have, like, time and money, and right, Is there a forfeit command to concede the duel? Is there? Duel cancel? Duel forfeit? Help. Duel. I guess you just have to zone out or something, or move too far away. But yeah, Swanee fled from Nick and conceded the duel. So the winner is us. Deep Gnome Head can be equipped as a light source? Yeah. Sounds like some 3D printing ideas. Graphics are technically better. Well, I won't read all you guys' reasons unless I see something. I mean, I guess graphics are very subjective, right? You games don't have the mindless bloat. Yeah, that's a good point. they're all like, look at what WoW's doing with their new expansion. They're actually removing a lot of the bloat. They're getting rid of a lot of the UI mods. They're getting rid of a lot of the ability bloat, the ability effect bloat, where it's like, this thing procs this, so your one ability can do this during a certain proc window and all this, you know? So they're actually trying to remedy retail WoW and move some of the difficulty of the game from your rotation into encounter design and stuff, right? Obviously the encounters are already challenging, but they're also very UI focused challenge, right? So if you actually make the challenge on playing the game more so than how good you are at pressing the buttons and using UI add-ons, then that might be an interesting proposition, right? Derelict. EQ is a classic, man. Like, EQ is a great game. People should definitely keep playing it. And I hope that people play both games. Like, why not, right? There's gonna be inevitably times where, like, oh, okay, you know, I'm not feeling this right now. But in a month or two, when the new expansion or module drops, right, then I'm going to be right back in, or like the new server drops or whatever, right? So I hope that people play other games in this niche. I hope that people continue playing EverQuest and all the classics. We got to keep these games alive. I want EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, Sheeran's Call, all these old games. I want them to live on. Like, why not? The more the merrier, I think, in my opinion. Like, myself as a gamer, I want to see these games move on or continue on, and you know, as a developer I feel the same way. Eminem has keys that you can never win. Hold up, we're gonna get to that. EQ feels so clunky to control. Every time I play a TLP, I just have to force myself to ignore how bad the game feels. EQ is not too bad compared to some of the other old MMOs. Like, the old MMO that I have trouble with is definitely Dark Age of Camelot. The movement, to me, is in that one is a bit rough. But I get that it's kind of part of the design and just how that game works. So it might just be a me thing. But yeah, like, man, it would be cool to see like a modern take on Dark Age. That, you know, obviously there has been some, right? Like Warhammer Online, probably like Guild Wars 2, Elder Scrolls Online are probably the closest. But it would be cool to have something more old school like Dark Age that feels, you know, a little bit more streamlined. Never know. It might have to do the Camelot and Memories. Just saying. Can you talk about the kind of live events GMs could host? So, you know, things that drive the story, things that are, you know, just fun or interesting or challenging, or, you know, things that make the game feel more like a world. I wouldn't want to give any specifics, but I think GM events are a great opportunity and something. It's a lost art, really. Back when I was a little kid, all I wanted to, that was like my whole meta for EverQuest, was like going on forums and reading about the GM events and the stories that are unfolding, trying to be online, looking for GM events, trying to like devour any of the new content going in the game. Do you remember when they added those like newspapers and those like Hall of Hero guys? That was like so intriguing to me. And then the Corona Plagues event, stuff like that. Like, that was like my meta. That's what I wanted out of MMOs back then. And then I inevitably started like leading Nagafin raids as like a kid and getting kicked off the computer like mid-raid. Like, oh yeah, sorry guys. My parents are kicking me off the computer. Yeah, that never happened during a Nogfin raid, but it happened when I was leading a Vox raid. And it was my first Vox raid that I ever led, and we wiped. And then so I was getting kicked off, but then I had convinced my dad or so my mom was mad, but then my dad was like, he was kind of the enforcer, right? So he got in. He wakes up at like he had to wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning, right, for work. So he was pissed, and like when he gets pissed, he's pissed, right? So, so that was scary, and then it got to a point where I was like about to cry, and then my mom was like, okay, just let him finish, right? So we did our attempt on Vox, and I'm like frazzled even thinking about it, right? Because like, I gotta hurry up. So we kind of rushed to engage, flub it, wipe, and then I'm just like, Alt F4, go to bed. So that was the story of my Vox, the only Vox raid that I ever led, and it ended in failure. Although the Nogfin raids, they succeeded. But I never master looted myself a Cloak of Flames. Missed opportunity. I was too much integrity. All right, now I'm definitely years behind in chat. Just yapping. Just a yapper. Playable Goblins. Eminem is an awesome game. You guys are doing great. Hey, thank you, Spellweaver. Missed like half of that because of an ad. What's the gameplay loot like? Is gear meaningful on here? Yeah, well, we're still working on the itemization. I think gear is meaningful, but I think we have room to improve and make it even more meaningful. Class identity is definitely a major factor. Banging soundtrack, absolutely. The soundtrack for this game is amazing. Robert Engstrand, you are a genius. I love the music, man. Let's see. Crafting system. Yeah. Can we time travel to 1 Eastern tomorrow? Need to do, like, time dilation or something. Are there in-game indicators of hardcore/iron status? I'm kind of back and forth on that one. We did originally have it. We may re-add it, but right now there is not. There is an announcement, so you can kind of see who is activating that mode and like progressing through it. There might be something in who, but I don't know that your name tag changes color. So we need to clean that up a little bit for launch, I would say. In fact, that might even be something to write down. Let us see here. Fix challenge mode, visibility stuff, and other stuff related. All right. Dust Storm is cool. Yeah, and we're working on making that, look and feel as good as it can be, right? Like, I know there's been some complaints about like, okay, man, there was infinite dust storms. They last infinite long. You can't see anything, and I think that is pretty cool, right? Like, but we just got to make sure that the balance is correct with it. Not to cater to the like people complaining about it necessarily, but we just need to verify that we feel that it's correct, right? How many roommates can you have? That's a good question. Like for the housing, like co-owners and stuff, is that what you're talking about? I think you can open to your guild, so maybe a lot. I'm not 100% sure. I have to check on that. And we're still, developing the housing. Like, it's working, but there's a little bit more to do with it. Nick is doing the sales pitch for Shark Tank. Dude, I am actually so far behind if that's the case. Okay, let's speed this up a bit. Any interest in AI-driven NPCs that interact with players and maybe do quests in a more dynamic way than the classics-inspired ones? Very wary about using AI for content, right? Like, we're not using it. We're not just, like, slopping it in there, right? We're very big on handcrafted content. Though I do think that there is maybe potential in those types of games or systems in these types of games, but I don't know that our game will be the one that does it. But you never know as an experiment down the line, right? What could happen, but it is a cool, interesting possibility for the future when that stuff becomes more fleshed out. Unless I'm misunderstanding you, apologies if you mean something else. For me, Monsters and Memories is people for people who like the way EQ started, but not the direction it took. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, for sure. Like, I think there is gonna be stuff for people that liked where the game started to go, right? Like, certain high-end content or what have you. But I think there's gonna be a lot more for the people that aren't into that high-end and like kind of constant vertical progression, murder hobo gameplay loop, right? That's me. Never played EQ. Waiting for Eminem release. Awesome to see it. Temptations. Welcome. The fact that I logged in once couldn't help but hear the EQ OG theme song playing in my head. You have me for life. That's awesome, man. That it was so nostalgic for you that it like triggered memories of that. And I'm sure a lot of people experienced that, and not only with EverQuest in particular, but like Dark Age of Camelot or Sheeran's Call or even World of Warcraft at this point, right? World of Warcraft was so long ago for some of us that like this game almost makes you nostalgic for it too. Never played EQ, quite enamored with Eminem so far. Great to see. Thank you for being a part of the community. Wow, there's a lot of you. It's good to see. Is there any like rare items / armor in the game? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Is the plan to keep tracking in the classic list style that's currently implemented? That's up for debate. You know, some of us on the team are not super stoked that, you know, we put in tracking like that. But you know, we couldn't like it was just one of the areas where like we couldn't set on a design, so someone was just like, all right, let's just put this in for now, right? So it's something we may revisit. So yeah, and if you guys have any ideas for tracking, please. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff in the forums, and I you know, I need to check that out, but yeah, it's definitely the possibility that we will revise that or completely revamp it. Wouldn't let me kill you? Yeah, it wouldn't let me kill you either. I wonder who got the kill off first. Eminem has an actual rock star making its music? True. Robert Engstrand is a rock star. That is actually true. Playing Eminem, someone dropped a video of it on a WoW private server, and I was very bored and clicked it, and here I am. Yeah, it'd be cool to see, you know, some of the big content creators from the WoW scene who comes over. I know, I think I saw Kungin pop into the Discord. Tiny Violin has made his appearance. The Fifth Horseman, and who am I thinking of from WoW? Oh, Ampy. Ampy's a P99 enjoyer, so I could see him maybe playing it. He's been pretty big in the WoW Classic scene for streaming. But yeah, and I'm sure there's other people too that I'm forgetting. Obviously, other streamers. I mean, what streamer? Most everyone's played WoW, right? So, just you could say like anyone's who's streaming is kind of from WoW, and most people are. But yeah, I think there's some people that would really dig what we're doing. So I think it definitely has a potential to pop off and kind of, you know, kind of have a viral moment for a little bit. That'd be cool. It'd be great to see. Any good lore videos or lore content out there somewhere? I think there's maybe a Discord, and there's a couple videos that tap into it a bit, but I don't know that they I don't know how much like hardcore lore videos are there yet, because we're keeping so much of it close to our chest. What's the design philosophy for M&M? We're trying to make a world. We want you to feel immersed. We want you to experience an MMO that was created in the year 2025 and feels like you're playing an MMO from back in the day, but takes a lot of influences and kind of wraps them together in one nice package so that you can kind of live out a fantasy, well, your own fantasy character and role in the world, right? And have a nice social game. And yeah, I don't know. I'm bad at these kind of statements, but essentially, we hope that we build a nice world that you can enjoy with your friends and people that you meet in it. So, yeah. I just watched an hour-long review on YouTube that praised how fun it is to in the old school nature, and in conclusion, complained about all the stuff they wanted incorporated from modern MMOs. I don't think they really got it. We also claimed to have been a seasoned bard in EQ, but then complained that he couldn't solo past 5 in M&M and argued for solo specific areas. Like, does he know kiting exists? Yeah, so that's an interesting thing, right? Like, since EverQuest was the de facto Western MMO at a period of time, there is going to be a lot of people that just don't like that kind of gameplay anymore, and moved on to WoW and kind of accepted WoW as a superior game, right? So there is going to be some people that were old school EverQuest players that just don't like it. But there's also going to be some people that weren't EverQuest players at all and cut their teeth on WoW, and that they get it and enjoy it, and it's something even new for them. So it's interesting, right? But yeah, it does blow me away, but it doesn't blow me away anymore, right? Because at first it did. I was like, wow, we're making a game that is very, you know, this game is definitely influenced by EverQuest. Like, I think it's something that people who enjoy EverQuest can play, but then they just didn't get into it, right? And I was like, that took some like figuring out and digesting, and I think over time maybe they will kind of warm up to it, right? Because I mean, many years ago the game was just in the state it was, right? But it is getting better and better over time, so maybe it is something that will start scratching the itch for certain people. And as they get in game and realize, like, oh hey, this is how I deal with X mechanic, then it kind of clicks for them and it's enjoyable, right? When you are starting a new MMO, like we've been playing, many of us have been playing EverQuest for so long that we forgot what it feels like to start playing EverQuest, right? And it was hard. It was frustrating at times. And eventually we learned how to deal with certain mechanics, and then it was just fun and streamlined feeling, right? Of course, like, a bad thing could happen and you could be penalized for it, but in general, like, you just knew what to do. So starting Monsters and Memories, you know, while it is familiar, I think, you know, once you start figuring, you know, there is difficulty learning, and then once you figure it out, then your enjoyment increases. So I don't know. The game doesn't run native at 32K resolution at 1500 FPS on my Pentium 2 at launch. I'm going to downvote this on Steam. Nice. I actually play a game that gets 1500 FPS, if you could believe it or not. PlanetSide 1. By the way, if you guys are interested in trying an old school MMO FPS, that's kind of started it all, check out the PS Forever project. Those guys are, you know, working to bring Planetside 1 back, and they do a little thing every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, so definitely check that out. But yeah, it's funny, like, just over time, my FPS kept going up and up and up in this game, and now it's like literally 1500 FPS. And I think we're starting to have issues where like vehicles in the flight are like going all crazy on high FPS. So yeah, it's probably gonna become a problem, but it's definitely a cool game to check out if you haven't already. Project Quorum with Zeal feels way smoother, but still retro. Yeah, Zeal is a pretty cool add-on. It's nice that people are still developing out, ways to improve the old EverQuest clients. Detoxing after the last playtest was hard. I had so much fun. Yeah. Dude, I am so far behind. Oh, no. Alright. Sorry, guys. I might have to ignore some messages. Not ignore, but not read out everything. I think I get into trouble when I just started. I just want to read every message, and I want to talk to everybody. Will multi-boxing be bannable? Only, well, it'll be policed on servers that are no boxing servers. But there will be multi-boxing allowed servers. So, yes and no, right? If you want a multi-box, just play on the multi-boxing server. If you want to participate in the community where there's no boxing, play on the no box server. Would be cool if they ever came out with Camelot Unchained. Yeah. So it seems like they've been making some progress after a period of not making too much progress. So it's interesting to see when that's going to be coming out and what kind of state it'll be in. I'll definitely give it a shot. Just start an MMO alliance as a Kickstarter and buy up all the old IPs. Watch that nerd money pour in. Network admins and tech billionaires and crypto bros dumping loads of cash to get back that nostalgia. Careful what you wish for. M&M selling points, classic experience with easy install and intuitive natural UI, well-paced, not too slow, not too fast, modern graphics engine. My top selling point bullet list. Yeah, that is something to consider, right? Like, so there is classic EverQuest emulators available, but it's not through the like live service, right? So it's kind of challenging for certain people to get those installed and working, because there's oftentimes like a manual setup process, and not everyone is great with computers, and that's okay. But people may just be like, man, I'll just sub to live EQ and play the TLPs, even though they're not as classic, right? Just took my Bard from start to just shy of 8 in under 6 hours, all solo, 0 deaths. That dude on YouTube must just blow. Hey, everyone has to start somewhere. Is NWC still working towards storytellers? We'll have to confirm. I have to see if we'll still be doing that. I imagine we'll probably be doing like GM events. I don't know if we'll be able to just like get people from the community and like contract them, or what the plan is, but we'll have to check it out. See what the current thoughts are. I'm a noob to EQ and Eminem. I was so impressed with last year's October test that I played Project 1999 for the first time. Currently have a level 10 Shadow Knight and a 14 Druid on blue and green respectively. Awesome, Kuzo. Yeah, EverQuest is a great time, man. GM take over a raid mob and players have to kill it? Yeah, I think they did some of that back in the day, right? Or they would just spawn like a raid mob and like... I remember they spawned Fadedar in Lake of Ill Omen. Remember that one. What else did they do? They did some fun stuff, man. You guys are funny. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through chat a little bit. I might miss some of your guys' messages. Speaking of time dilation, my YouTube Shorts feed is like 80 to 90% Brian Cox and yeah, the other guy, what's his name? And it's all like interstellar theme and cool stuff about space. I'm here for it. Love that. I played briefly with bots, Chabori. I was an applicant when I left EverQuest. Myself and a good friend were both applicants because I led the planet side team for their gaming organization, DAoC. And then we rolled on the Wraith server. I had a rogue, and they helped me get my epic and stuff like really quick. And my friend had a cleric, and we were applicants. And then that's about the time I stopped playing EverQuest. Actually, I think we just quit because we got bored, and then we rolled on Sol and Zek for a bit, and then yeah, and then that was about the time I got into the closed beta for WoW, and then we're just like we're off of EQ. So it's very loose to say that I was in bots. And then in WoW, I went on to play with Nerfed of Nerfed UI fame, and then during Burning Crusade, I went to play with Conquest, the original world race for world first guild. They got they got the most world firsts in Molten Core, the original Molten Core. And obviously, they are a Conquest of EverQuest fame, the famed Sleeper's Tomb event, shall we say. So, yeah. Then after that, I moved on from playing MMOs competitively for the most part. And I moved into kind of StarCraft 2, and Heroes of the Storm. But yeah. Who's making the decisions on itemization / gameplay loop, and what's their previous experience? I'm making a lot of the decisions on itemization. Obviously, I'm getting feedback from the community and the team as well, and there are some things that about the itemization that we'd like to kind of course correct on. I think it's in a decent place, but there are some like certain areas in the game where like some types of items are needed more often, or there's too much loot too easily. Yeah, we're trying to work and fix a lot of this stuff. I get a ton of itemization help nowadays. I can ask the design team like, hey, we need to itemize this zone, and then boom, like dozens of items get created in the span of, just like a few days or a week. We're definitely trying to go for classic itemization feeling, right? And I think we're close, but there are some things that we can improve on. And it's a learning process, right? Did we get a refund if we had a house? Oh, there. About that. Yeah, never played EQ, but most of my guild had a bunch of EQ vets. I'm highly enjoying the game. You and the rest of the team are making. Our current EQ guild name is Waiting for Eminem. Does this game reward min-maxing? Like, is there a skill expression or rewards many hours of playtime? It definitely rewards many hours of playtime, and there is definitely min-maxing, but the min-maxing is mitigated a lot. DPS meters are not really available, and even if they were, they aren't that relevant because some classes are just naturally better at DPS than others by design. So it's not really like a parse statistics kind of game. it's more of a teamwork game and a utility game, I would say. That's the best way I can put it. I'm sure others can explain it probably a little bit better and more in depth. Are group heals in this patch? No, but they are coming. There will be different methods of group heals coming. What is in this patch though is we increased. Well, I increased the buff time on all abilities, all buff lines except for damage shields and regeneration, which are either kind of lower duration or a scaling duration. So not like 90% of the buffs in the game are 30 minutes. Now they're 60 minutes. So you'll get to check that out. So let's just verify that that is the case on the server. And I might need to hotfix it if it's not. Yeah, 1 hour remaining. There it is, guys. You asked and you shall receive. Alright, I'm years behind in chat. Let's just get Asmon over here, just not on my server. I don't think Asmon would be into this game. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, I think he would respect the idea, but in terms of gameplay, no, not even close. Now, if we did, in the future, something more modern feeling, I think that we could maybe snag him, but in general, we're kind of sticking to this in the old school, unless, there's opportunity in the future. What's been done to PlanetSide 2 is a tragedy. Yeah, man, I feel bad. Like, it's good that it's running and they're, still making changes, trying to make positive changes to it and stuff. But yeah, like, I think the PlanetSide genre deserves, and MMO FPS games in general just deserve better, It's going to be interesting to see how Smedley's new game turns out. I know they're doing, what's it called? Reaper Actual. So it's kind of like, I think they said it's like a mix of Tarkov, Rainbow Six Siege, and Call of Duty with like persistent world and bases, but it's only like 100 players per map or something, so it's not as big as PlanetSide, but I think it's 100 or 200 per map. But so it's not as big as PlanetSide, but it's persistent and it's, got some cool things going on for it. So interested to see how that goes. I know they're doing like, they said it's optional, but I think they are doing like Web3 stuff. So I'm sure that's gonna probably turn some people off, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Hey, Ailments, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that. And Mazoff, thank you for the Prime 59 minutes ago. If I didn't get you. Okay, let's try to progress through the chat a little bit more. Anything new happening with Elementalist? Been interested in seeing more scaling on the unique buffs and equipment across for Melee Master of Elements. Yeah, so I think Master of Elements is probably going to require like partial redesign, partial, help from our tech team. So that one's still in flux, still needs some work. But I can show you some of the new stuff that we've done for Elementalist. Let me go over to my kind of testing area that I've been using lately. So, if you were on the stream the other night when I was doing some dev stuff, you may have seen me starting to work on what I'm calling the fire vortex effect. So Elementalist, basically, just to kind of summarize and do a little overview, Elementalists are going to have elemental reactions. Their pets have offensive abilities that can... Let me see what that was. Treasure Train. Relic 99 continued their prime to a tier 1. Thank you so much, Relic. Thank you guys for the Treasure Train. Okay, so Elementalists are going to be able to create elemental reactions by combining the offensive spells from your whatever elemental pet they currently are using and the blast line. So they have Blast of Fire, Blast of Water, Blast of Earth, and Blast of Air. So if you take like what is it? You take Blast of or you have a fire pet out, and then your fire pet uses its fire nuke on the target. It has the elemental fire conditional debuff, and since it has this debuff, then I can use Blast of Air, and it not only just does the normal Blast of Air damage, but it also adds an effect. So let me show you real quick. I'll summon my pet. So sorry if you guys saw this the other night, and I'm kind of doing this again, but hey, oh, there's my pet bar. So let me give this guy a ton of health so I don't have to worry about him dying. Okay. Go. So he's applied his thing. Boom. Blast of Air. So not only did it do the damage, but you can see here, your Blast of Air reacts to the elemental fire, causing a backdraft. So the other ones that I've added now are, we showed off the elemental earth. So the earth pet, he uses a root, and when he applies that root, he applies a conditional debuff. And you can clear that debuff and the root with Blast of Water. So that creates a mudslide, right? So that'll convert the root into a snare. Makes sense. So the other one I was working on was with the air pet, specifically. The air pet has a air-based nuke that he can apply. So let us bust out the air pet. And this one interacts with fire, right? So you kind of go in there. So it turns Blast of Fire into Vortex of Fire, and it turns it into an AoE spell. So that's kind of what I've been working on with Elementalist. That's been a core mechanic that I've wanted to get in for a while, and a number of them are in for this upcoming stress test. So give it a try. Let us see. You know, obviously some of this is going to be a little bit niche feeling, a little bit situational, but I think it's a cool spin on things, right? Without feeling too required or anything. I would hate for you to have to like super min-max which pet you're using at all time. It's kind of more of like situational stuff, and so yeah, give it a try. Let us know what you think, and then we'll be getting I'll be getting more of those effects in there. Are you going to have US West servers so Oceanic community can play? US East is unplayable. I do think we'll probably have a West server, but I need to confirm that with Ollie. I know he's been kind of wanting to do like more exclusively East Coast, but I think it's reasonable to have a West Coast server, right? Not only for people in, you know, the West Coast, but or on the West Coast, but you know, that helps Oceanic community out a bit. That'd be pretty cool. Speaking of the beta keys, I should do that giveaway soon, huh? All right, let's see if we can get to the bottom of the chat. That's always the key. Sorry if you answered already. Will there be a PvP arena in Night Harbor, kind of like the Gurubasha arena or Dire Mall arena in WoW? Yeah, so there already is a small PvP arena, and it also has some like kind of PvE content that goes along with it. But we will be adding a larger PvP arena to Night Harbor as well, so look forward to that coming fairly soon, I would say. And you never know what kind of special things will pop up with that, right? Like what you can do, community-style events that you can kind of host there. And what kind of competition you can find there. Speaking of itemization, I'm curious about nodes for mining. I noticed most of the tiers of mining nodes have been in glass flats. Is that just for testing, and eventually they'll be moved to spread out to other zones? I think the reason why there's such a wide variety of mining nodes in glass flats is because there's a wide variety of level ranges of content. But I can forward your question to Rift and make sure that everything is as expected. M&M logs win? Ugh. You may get logging in general someday, maybe. But yeah, M&M logs, like the website, that would be ridiculous, right? Like, I don't think there's much of a need for that. Will we get a Holy Nova? I like that. I think Holy Nova had a cool idea, but people didn't really like it, right? And maybe it got better later. But I'll write something down for that, maybe. But, you know, maybe a future class gets that. You never know. Or some other kind of healing Nova. Will shamans get direct damage spells after level 1? Yes. Yes. They are on the list that I'm creating for their final designs. Hour-long Jackal form has been so clutch. I'm glad, Redris. Is there an order or list for which classes will be getting major class changes? I mean, definitely some of the classes that need them are definitely higher on the priority. But even some of the more complete classes, we want to get some really cool new mechanics in there. So I think it's just going to be a across-the-board thing. I remember we were dueling hand-to-hand in West Freeport after the movie Fight Club was released. GMs never agreed to let us form a guild called Fight Club. Nice. Great movie, by the way. Is rested buff altered at all? Not currently. It should probably still be the same. If you looked at the Druid AC skin, it seemed weak. Haven't. Let me ask if... I'm gonna ask Runef what he thinks about the current AC values for the Druid skin line. So we'll get an answer on that in the near future. If it's feeling off, one way or the other, then expect some quick changes on it. Any changes to Sandstorms? The 2-hour-long ones have were not fun at all. Not really, I don't think. But if they're feeling too oppressive during the playtest, I'll try to shut it off after a reasonable amount of time. Any thought on seasonal catch-up servers as a way to give new players a fresh experience, but at the same time they merge into the main game? Definitely interested in that, yeah. Planetside Extraction? Oh yeah, that... I would like to just see a Planetside style game. Like, I think... Because they tried the Planetside Battle Royale when Battle Royales were popular. And then Apex Legends came out, and then Planetside Arena went... So... I don't know that capitalizing on a trend is the play. I think just making PlanetSide style games, which is already a super unique concept that there needs to be more of these games. I think that's just the play. Because PlanetSide 1 and PlanetSide 2, just awesome games. PlanetSide 1 especially. PlanetSide 1 for life, dude. But yeah, I'm not kidding, guys. Come try PS Forever. We need more people. It hasn't been popping off lately, and people are sad about it, myself included. So some of you come play, and then we can talk about the hypothetical Planets and Memories game. It'll be fun. What's up, Sinras? Unfortunately, FPS gaming online is pretty much a dead end until they get AI anti-cheat rolling as a standard for the industry. Well, that's the cool thing about like a PlanetSide persistent style FPS is that you can just have GMs and be like moderating the server essentially. Kind of hard to do that with session based, right? You know, what GM is just hanging out watching your Counter-Strike match, you know? Would the mudslide effect be applied like an AoE? Being too, would that be too strong? So I was kind of thinking of making the ones that capitalize off the air pet AoE. Oh, that was a weird rendering pop. So I was thinking about that, but then again, like the air pet is also kind of meta in a way. I did remove the spell haste and move it over to the fire pet, so it's probably a little bit less meta, but probably still the meta. Maybe we could spruce up the water pet a little bit and the earth pet a little bit more, and I think, you know, I think it's probably fine. But yeah, the kind of idea is like air is kind of like a vortex, right? So it kind of makes more sense for AoE. But yeah, I don't know where it's all going to fall with that. I like there being some AoE effects. I like there being some single target. So we'll see when they're all in. And, you know, if one feels too strong, one feels too weak, then we can maybe swap them or something. Because I could also see Backdraft being AoE, right? Like, that kind of makes sense. It is also toggled off of, or triggered off of a blast of air. And I'd imagine if there were some firefighters standing around in a building and then there's a backdraft, like they're all going flying, right? So HOTS tournament for beta keys. Dude, that might actually go hard. People will be like, what's this loser doing back in HOTS? Everyone stop talking so he gets to the bottom of chat. He's getting chat filibustered. Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, not to sell out or anything, but we got some sick new emotes. Goblin, I hope this is okay with you. I got my team avatar, but more importantly, we've got the ye old M&M logo here. So yeah. If you want to, you know, spread the good word of M&M around Twitch, you know what to do. When does beta start? So it was supposed to start end of September. We pushed it back a little bit because we want to get the game feeling like there's an evolutionary step between alpha and beta, right? So do not have a date for you, but soon TM. Something tells me that Eminem isn't a very parse culture heavy game, and thank God for that. Yeah. That is definitely the case. It is not a parse culture game. What do you think about putting traps near gathering spots, similar to the infested bug crates in Stratholmen? Wow, I love it, BG. Would love to do more of that stuff. And we can do more of that stuff. We have the technology. Should write something down about that. Boost that group experience rate yet? I know that we were talking about that, Kegaden. I don't know that it made the stress test patch, but like that is, it may have. Let me see if I can determine that. Check our version control channel experience. I know we were trying to get something in, but it doesn't look like we got something in for the stress test. But wait, hold on. No, never mind. But yeah, look forward to that soon. I think we're looking to boost 5- and 6-man groups. Kegaden. And we're also looking to boost the TTK, make the TTK longer for lower level mobs, and we've nerfed damage. So melee stats have been nerfed a bit. So that's also, also gonna make the TTKs last a little bit longer. So we are very focused on balance right now because we want to get things feeling good. Whether it be experience or combat balance or abilities or everything, right? We are very much trying to hit a number of different things. Are any changes wizards will be able to use wands more than EQ did? I think the wizard class also needs more whimsical or arcane vibes. Yeah, we're kind of trending in that direction, or at least my mind and thoughts are trending in that direction, Parker. Endgame is boring with no parsing. I honestly, I had a lot of fun on P99. I know a lot of you guys do not like the rating culture on P99. And we want it to be a little bit more tolerable, right, than that, right? Because obviously we are going in with a no instance thing and stuff like that, so there is potential for like player friction and competition and stuff. But I think more full repops as opposed to just like socking a single mob is gonna help with that, like more quakes and stuff. Speaking of, have you seen our quake system? Pretty cool. So more of that, so that, guilds can kind of branch off and go for certain targets and everyone gets a piece of the pie, right? Obviously, there's going to be guilds that are stronger than others and get the better piece of the pie, but, you can't be everywhere at once. What's it called? Where was I going with this? I kind of forgot where I was going with this. Oh, yeah, no, I had fun on P99. Like, yeah, sure, you can't pop off. Like, that being said, I did try to pop off on the parses a lot with my rogue, but, there's a lot of things that you can do endgame competitive rating that are fun without parses, right? Like, you can be the hero, literally. You can make plays. They're like, even though it's a more simple, less mechanically intensive game, there are things you can do. I miss Planetside 1. That's right. Hail and well met, Grix. Missed the inventory system? Yeah. When you say Planetside, you mean PS2? I usually mean Planetside 1. I am a Planetside 1 fanatic. Come play with us. Sundays, 1 p.m. Eastern. Not this Sunday, though. Wait for the stress test to be over. Then come play. Maybe the mudslide can be a group effect AoE snare. I think that'd be cool. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, maybe not. For the PvP, can enchanters use charm, please? They can't currently, but that's not ruling it out. It's just we haven't added the functionality for it yet. I'll make a note. How do you feel about extending the duration of Inquisitor Charm? 15 seconds feels too short for a 30-minute cooldown. Either make it a 30-30 or reduce the cooldown so it's 15-15. So, the reason why it's so short is that, you know, maybe they just need a better, like, harm touch, lay on hand style ability. The reason why it is like that is because my worry was like, oh, so this is the fight where we're gonna cheese with all of our Inquisitors just charming something, right? Like, I'm very concerned about that. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a way we could revamp the ability. Maybe, changing it to what you're saying is fine in the long run. And, you know, maybe we could just try it. And if it does become an issue where people are cheesing it, we can nerf it or revamp it at that point. But yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical. But you're probably right, because I don't think there's anyone that's played more Inquisitor in the world than the great Talit Tahak. So, yeah, let me make a note on that. Maybe I need to validate my thoughts. Just test it myself. I would also go for a slower game instead of just harder. Yeah, we're trying to make the game difficult, but not difficult in a way that's mechanically intensive, right? That makes sense. Dwarf Beastmaster win? Dude, I might have to just slip him in there. Like, I really am a big supporter of Dwarf Beastmasters. But don't clip this and tell Sean. But seriously, maybe we should discuss that one. Please remove level lock on the potions use. It's a tough one. Maybe. You left a suggestion in Discord about the fresh start idea, just for a brainstorm idea. Hey, thank you, Cave Wugzug. Being able to get high-level buffs while wearing high-level gear and not being able to drink high-level potions is a little weird. It is weird, you know? Maybe... Yeah. Alright, well, let's make a note about it. Verify my thoughts. Tracking is coming soon. Should already be in. So just train it off the trainer and it should go to your skill book and then you should be able to use it. Bat phone's out. That's right. It's so fun. What about training dummies that give you some parsing feedback to make gearing decisions? Oh, maybe. But let me verify everyone else's thoughts on this, right? Like, because that would be a decision that I feel like, you know, everyone should have a say in. So verify. See what people think about training dummies. But yeah, in general, again, like the game is not about parsing really. It's I don't know if it does it kill the feel if we put in training dummies. What do you guys think? I'm not sure. I have to verify my own thoughts as well. I was thinking that increase the spawn rates for mobs based on how many players are in a zone would go a long way to addressing too many players in a zone and not enough for all of them to do. If you guys thought about this or something similar, Yeah, so newbie mobs are definitely pretty fast respawn, right? And we could even go faster or do it dynamically or temporarily based on like a launch situation. But in general, I think not only do we need to do some like hyper spawn situations for like some of these roamers, but we may need to just increase the number of low level camps, especially in um, Night Harbor, Shaded Dune, Sungreet Strand, Evershade Weald in particular, right? Because that's where the bottlenecks are gonna be early on. Especially once you get to that level 4, 5, 6, 7 range. That's when I started seeing like camp disputes and stuff, like at those like Ashiras and Sungreed and Sun Shaded and whatnot. So obviously Wormsbane is Wormsbane is probably where most of the grief happens, like both in terms of like straight up griefing and then also people like camp disputes and stuff. So be nice to your fellow man in Wormsbane. We'll be keeping an eye out. Hello, and thank you for the game you're all creating. I was wondering, is there a chance the Paladin class will have access to undead damage or proc-based undead spells before or beyond level 20 that are not the same as Cleric class, or is that not an identity you want for the class? I think that's reasonable, actually. So let me put that on my list, my class list. Is just more unique anti-undead stuff for Paladin. Thank you for the suggestion. I'll look into that. Ooh. My favorite time in game. Let's go over here. Nick, what's up, bro? You got me with the clickbait giveaway title. Stress test hype. Yeah. So we gotta do that giveaway soon, man. Chat's not slow enough yet for a giveaway? Wish list for your planet side like. Good question. Oh, man. I really liked what Planetside 1 did. Like, the metagame of Planetside 1 is critical. I think to an MMO FPS, right? Because I feel like getting the metagame correct is the most important thing for me. What you do in the game and like what kind of activities there are to do, right? And I think the problem with Planetside 2 is the Planetside 2 metagame. So Planetside 2, the mechanics in the game made the meta a lot about fast travel, teleporting around the map instantly, statistics farming, and fighting too much of the Zerg, right? Whereas in Planetside 1, yeah, you could fight the Zerg, but you could also pull like the more elite people into a certain base and then kind of have more competitive battles in an open world setting. Whereas Planetside 2, it was very difficult to have those types of fights because the Zerg would just show up everywhere. So it got to a point where Planetside 2 actually had to add a tournament called Outfit Wars and a game mode, basically, to facilitate competitive gaming. Whereas Planetside 1, you could just have that in the open world naturally. So I think the metagame, the mechanics need to facilitate a good metagame. So that would be my one item for the game, more so than any one thing, right? Rogue has felt really good. Love all the interrupts and stuns. Hey, I'm glad. No push-in levels will turn into another Bind Wound dissertation. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, right? Bind Wound is also level-based, isn't it? P99 earthquake PTSD. No parse tools in raid. Dummies outside raid to figure out gear selection. Absolutely can't have parse culture hit the game. Can we track corpses with M&M version tracking? That's a good question. I don't know. Would these training dummies allow you to level up weapon skills? Well, if we added those, I'm sure that we would also add a property to the NPC table that allowed us to prevent weapon skills when attacking that target. Just like we have the ability to prevent experience from being gained from a target. Which is used very sparsely, by the way. Only for super specific use cases, like a summoned mob. So you can't just like chain summon a mob over and over and over and just farm it for XP. While currently working on nuking most of the heavily used mods for the next expansion. Yeah, that's right. I'm hoping to get some time with the Midnight Alpha when I have a little bit of time to just see, you know, what they're kind of doing with their UI and stuff. I try to keep up to date with a number of MMOs and just see what they're doing and if there's anything we can borrow. Obviously, WoW retail is not, you know, a game that we're borrowing tremendous amount of stuff from, but I think they do have some cool stuff going on, of course. So, got to do my due diligence and check it out. And you know, I enjoy different types of MMOs from time to time. So, and I have a longtime friend that is on the design team. So, it's cool to be able to chat with him about it, give him feedback, and you know, just chat with him about. Because he's been a designer for so long, and this is the well, technically the first MMO. I mean, I've done some hobbyist design MMO stuff, but this is the first, like, I mean, I guess that's the first game he's done too. But you know, he's just got a good experience, and it's good to talk to him about stuff. I feel like the purpose of training dummies is to figure out the secret combat formulas in the game, which would conflict with Eminem's design. Yeah, maybe you should just have to risk it. You know, like go out in the world to test stuff out. Could you do a training yard with a semi-active training dummies that just give no XP? Could, but I don't know. Sparrow giveaway. Yeah, we're trying to get to the bottom of chat. I'm almost there. All right, hold on. Let me scroll down. Okay, I see it, guys. I'm actually all the way scrolled down. It's got a little bit more to go here. Planetside 1, it feels more modern, would go hard. Yeah, it would go crazy. Gotta do the reverse clickbait for the key giveaways. Never give one away. I want the community to respect me for my content, not my keys. I want to get you. I want to get you guys the keys. I know a lot of you guys are here for the keys and not here to hear me yap. I do a lot of yapping. Real battles in Planetside 1 were fought off the front line. Yeah, for sure. Like, a lot of the most impactful battles were done off the front line, right? Because you can greatly impact the result of a frontline battle in Planetside 1 by doing a smaller, more competitive battle behind enemy lines, right? Because if you're cutting off crucial benefits to the front line, then the Zerg one of the Zergs is gonna have a way better chance against the others, right? If one of the Zerg armies has access to Reavers and tanks and the other side doesn't, then suddenly you feel really outmatched, right? As a Zerg player, you know? So I think playing into that for a new game would be really cool. Playing into that more than Planetside 1 already did, which they played into it pretty well, in my opinion. Are there any plans to have two-handed piercing weapons like large spears, tridents, lances? Haven't seen one yet. I just added some, but they aren't on the loot tables yet. And they need Goblin, if you're still here. They need an icon. I can provide some ref for that. But and they also are gonna need I think a unique weapon model as well. But yeah, lances definitely going in. Two-hand piercing weapons definitely a thing and going in. But yeah, need to add them to the crafting recipes and loot tables. Zerg combat is basically the worst part of the PvP. Also, the live stream of your PvP game. It's such a weird paradox. It simultaneously drives game lifespan for the community at large, but is like the TV dinner of PvP for people that really like to get into the nitty gritty. I think there's fun to be had in both large and small PvP. And I think that, you know, in a game, for example, bringing up the PlanetSide 1 example again, is like, you can have small-scale PvP that affects large-scale PvP and stuff like that, right? So I think some people enjoy large-scale PvP, some people enjoy small-scale PvP. And, you know, having both and having the option to kind of isolate which you participate in is cool. So there are certain games that you can do that in, like, or there's certain games where a well-oiled small group can even deal with a Zerg, right? Like, I think Dark Age of Camelot comes to mind. I didn't get too crazy into, like, the organized 8-mans, but it seems like in that game, because it has such powerful AoE crowd control and stuff like that, that a really good 8-man can dismantle a Zerg, right? So it's cool. That's a cool aspect of that game. And then the PlanetSide 1 example is, yeah, you can take an elite, you know, squad of players and go kind of make a Zerg lose, right? By not directly engaging them, but kind of engaging other elite players and then winning against them, and then their whole faction suffers as a consequence of that. So, yeah. I just want to blow a tech gen with the boys again. Hell yeah, dude. This is about to be a PlanetSide stream, guys. Sorry. How much of the vision of M&M is keeping it as close to classic EverQuest versus creating a new product with the same vibe? I don't know that there's like a percentage, right? Like, we're very much trying to create a mechanically classic feeling MMO mechanically. But we are absolutely creating a new product, and we're got like a whole smorgasbord of like features that we're bringing together, right? Like, I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Like, I would say play the game. Wait, what just happened? What? Did I just get summoned? Oh, the safe location bug. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, I would say play the game for yourself, kind of see what you think. Like, is it different enough? Is it too much of the same? Like, that's gonna be a matter of opinion, right? But we are definitely trying to differentiate ourselves. Like, and I think we have some unique selling points that I went over earlier in the stream. So, check out the VOD for that. But yeah, man, like, I don't know. I have a close friend whose favorite game of all time is PlanetSide 1. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, it'll be a game changer. About time Weak has already said they're not updating for midnight based on the alpha. Yeah. Man, it would be cool to do some just like general like game discussion streams sometime. It would be cool to do some just like, I know like 99% of you are here for Monsters and Memories stuff, right? But it would be fun to occasionally do some like other topics, right? And maybe throw up some VODs on my own YouTube. That might be fun. But Monsters and Memories is the focus. We've got a release. We've got a stress test tomorrow. We've got a upcoming beta. We've got an upcoming early access. We've got to strive towards 1.0. So I've got to lock in. I've got to focus. So, but it would be cool to do that from time to time, right? Because I really do get enjoyment out of just chatting with you guys and about various topics. Hoping we never have add-on bloat in this game. Oh, I don't think you ever have to worry about that. Does race choice actually matter? It will for beta. It matters to an extent because you can select racial traits when you create your character, but you don't have to select a racial trait. There's going to be more just traits, racials that you just get, and other like stat differences and little perks. So it will matter more for beta and obviously beyond. Do I need to sign up to enter the giveaway? So there will be a command you'll enter in the chat. Let me get to that really soon here. Uh-oh. We're scrolling off the screen again. Okay, hold on. What engine is this game created in? Unity. Foxhole's kind of that vibe to a certain extent. Yeah, I've got like 300 hours in the old version of Foxhole before it was the persistent world. And I don't know, like, I don't know that Foxhole is for me. It kind of used to be more so on the old version, but yeah, current Foxhole really isn't for me, I would say. I think I just kind of like more FPS driven experiences and like faster action. I mean, I'm not saying like super fast action, right? Like, but Foxhole is more of a massive simulation strategy, and I do like the strategy aspect of PlanetSide, but I think the means to the ends are a little bit different between those two games. So, racial starter stats being tweaked, yes, and class starter stats. Been playing Project Gorgon lately to get comfortable with a more slow-paced MMO. Can't wait for M&M. Nice, Jedi Coder. Project Gorgon's an awesome game. DAoC, Camelot, Minstrel, AoE stun. Yep. Wish Quake Wars had been done like PlanetSide's Persistent World. Dude, I wish so many more games had been done like PlanetSide's Persistent World. There's so many good IPs and games that could have like really tapped into that kind of thing. Like, when am I getting a StarCraft MMO FPS? Probably never, but a man can dream, right? And I'm a huge StarCraft fan, and I'm a huge PlanetSide fan. So like that would kind of be a dream scenario. Excited for tomorrow? Hey, Variety Void, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow too. Hopefully it's not too laggy and crowded for everybody, but yeah, it'll be good information for the November test at least. So, but yeah, man, 35-hour stress test. That'll be good. That'll be a good one. I just booted up the game for the first time. There's no lore text for race/class. Oh, we're still working on the UI and the character creation screens to provide more information there. Not only for like race, class, but also like stats and stuff. Not that we necessarily want to give everything away about stats, but some general information would be good. Also, with more people here, I gotta say, let me know if you know how to do some good netcode. Hit me up. That's right. Goblin here in chat, our lovely concept artist, is looking for programming assistance on some of his other indie side projects. So, if you are a C# developer, Unity developer, or have experience with working with netcode in Unity, hit him up. See if there is a little arrangement, because he's got some games that are really close to the finish line. You just need some programming assistance. So, yeah, hit him up. By the way, Goblin, are you planning on doing any streaming tonight? Let's see, how long have I been streaming? I didn't want to do too long of a stream tonight, so I may get out of here in the near future, but we got to do this giveaway. We got to get to the bottom of the chat. We're almost there. You see the fan website that does the countdown? Yeah, it's amazing. My friend said you are the best Uther he's ever seen, whatever that means. Oh, yeah, I was a Uther player in Heroes of the Storm. I was known for Gazlo, then I was known for Uther, and then... Well, also I was a bit known for Raynor as well. But, it's like Gazlo, Raynor, Uther, and then, like, Malfurion, Brightwing. But, yeah, Uther was my guy, for sure. I played so many games of Uther. Tell him thank you. That's very nice of him to say. Is there a faction system in the game for the races? Yes, there is. Are goblins allied with evil races? Can't reveal that. You gotta find out. And who says they aren't an evil race? You know, those darn goblins, man. Evil. Actually, I'm not confirming or denying their evil status. StarCraft Ghost could have been great. Not gonna lie, Bomberman IP has been slept on. Dude, I used to love Bomberman as a kid. Had the multi-tap and playing with, you know, my brother and various friends would come over, getting the 4-player Bomberman going, dude, on SNES. Oh, those were the days, dude. Loved me some Bomberman. I felt like I popped off in Bomberman, to be honest. Maybe that's just revisionist history, but I felt like I was pretty good at it. Wasn't there a Warhammer 40k PS-like MMO in development at some point? I believe... So, was it Warhammer 40k Eternal Crusade or something? I don't know if it originally started as an MMO and then moved to kind of more smaller session-based, but I think it just came out and was not anywhere close to the scope of Planetside, so... and did they shut it down? Or I don't know if you can even play it anymore. But yeah, I think that's might be what you're thinking of, Ironsburn. Think it's gonna be a good time? Yeah, I think so too. If you're streaming, I'll definitely hop in the stream and see how it's going. Friday Void. Although, I will be streaming myself a little bit, at least for the first few hours of the stress test tomorrow. So, please, yeah, tune in and let people know that, you know, Sean isn't going to be around, so somebody's got to do the stream, right? Like... Alright, nerds, past my bedtime. Love you all. See you mañana. Hey, have a good night, Swanee. Thank you for everything, man. Thank you for everything you do for this project. Blizz with StarCraft IP is like Bethesda with Elder Scrolls or Microsoft with Halo. These companies have no idea what the players want and shoot themselves in the foot by not making unique games with those IP. You know, I think the designers and gamers within those companies know what they want, but I think the problem is getting the higher ups to buy into that, right? The higher ups want to buy into the bottom line situation, right? Like, let's make a tradable card game. Let's make a battle royale. Let's make an extraction game or whatever, right? You know, let's create a mobile game with mad microtransactions that isn't... You know, so some... I want to backtrack a little bit, because some of those games that I just mentioned, I think gamers do want. But then you get things like certain mobile games that are, like, super pay-to-win, super microtransaction heavy. And then that's kind of what some of these, like, upper management, like, shareholder type people want, right? Because it, you know, It might not be what the gamers want, but it's what they want for their pockets, right? So, and I think within companies like Blizzard and what have you, they're prototyping really cool games all the time. You know, they've countless R&D projects are, you know, being worked on or, you know, have been worked on, right? But do they get greenlit? Not many do, right? So, I think the designers and developers of these games know what players want. They just don't really have the opportunity to get to create them, and they don't get to see the light of day, right? So, I think that's where we're at, right? Nick is goaded for the shout out. I could stream. Cool, man. I don't know how much longer I'll go, but if you're sticking around, you can kind of see when I'm about to get off, or if you are just wanting to start streaming, then and you're going to be streaming for a while, then I guess you could start up. But just trying to get to the bottom of chat and do a quick giveaway, and then I could be out of here potentially. Hello, this is the bottom of chat. Welcome to the bottom of chat. That is a lie now. That was a truth in the past, but it is a current lie, Kuzak. Came for some hype. There's a giveaway on top of the hype for tomorrow. Dude, I'm gonna do a fat giveaway, I feel like we might have to do like a 5 bomber. What do you guys think? Is that legit? Bro, Arthas, Gazlo, Tychus were my most played heroes. Arthas by far, though. Ghoul build was just so good for long-term sustain and surviving or wearing down people. Oh, dude, I remember that. And they would... dude, Arthas at one point was so goated. He was so good. He's, like, broken. Yeah. I miss HOTS, dude. I really had high hopes for that game. Did Sean get fired? No, he is under fire. He is in live combat in a massive airsoft LARP. So he's having fun. He's not going to be around for the stress test, but yours truly may be able to stream. It's going to be a different vibe for sure, so hope you guys are here for it. Thanks for the tier 1, join a cult. And let's see, did I miss anybody else? Join a cult, tier 1. I think that's it. Thank you. I feel like everyone wanted a Halo MMO like 20 years ago, but nobody noticed. Yeah, and I felt like PlanetSide 1's aesthetic kind of tapped into that a little bit, right? Like, a little bit. Why is Strafe Run the second best rogue on green? You take that back. You take that back. I have the 100 parse on Ventani. Absolutely, there's no question. And if I had a little bit more Bis loot, I'm pretty sure I'd have 100 parse for every dragon. But, hey, it's good to see you, man. I miss my rogue, man. I need to log into P99. Let's make something that makes a yacht made of money. Let's make something fun that makes a yacht made of money, right? Like, let's not make a game that's like microtransaction heavy to do it. Let's just do it the good old-fashioned way with passion and creating something for the gamers. That's my opinion. Valve used to make games, now they make money. Holy hell, Halo devs fumbled so hard. Gears of War, DayZ mix would be amazing. Dude, I'm going to get to the bottom of the chat eventually. Alright, hold on. I'm scrolling down. I'm just going to scroll down. I have the killing blow on the final 2 Karok, so my rogue is better. Well, I have the highest parse on the Sleeper Awakening Vindani, you know, like, and I'm pretty sure, I swear I have the 100 parse on that fight. I've got the elusive 3 backstab in on Ventani. All right. Parsing in vanilla WoW had more skill expression and EQ. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. However, I still love my rogue parses, alright? On EQ. Alright, we made it to the bottom of the chat, guys. We made it to the bottom. I think it's time. 10 bomber. Chill out, Qualinos. Chill out. Alright. Let us get this going. Okay. Let us get the giveaway thing up here. Okay. All right. Let's just run it. Let's just run it. Giveaway is active. Exclamation point 5 bomber. Get your friends, get your family. Our own beta server, just for this chat, specifically, would like our own little niche cult in a niche world. Like some kind of niche world cult. That's a good idea, Angriest. Get your entries in, everybody. 5 bomber. I really didn't put a dent in this Kirkland today. That being said, may have had one earlier. So. I don't know what I'm doing drinking coffee. 100% Colombian cold brew at 11:17 p.m. the night before a stress test. This is terrible. This is awful. How many entries do we have? 170 entries already. Oh yeah, Goblin, are you gonna fire it up? Maybe you already have? Now, if Goblin fires up his stream, we might have to take this party over to Goblin's stream and run another giveaway. So, don't change that dial. Once the contest resolves itself here, and you don't win it, come try your luck in Goblin's stream. You know, maybe you get a little bit of a little second chance, and that might be you. Can't stay up until the servers start. How are we gonna play test? Let me introduce you to my friend, the Kirkland signature cold brew coffee, 100% Colombian, 11 fluid ounces, 325 milliliters. Drink one of these bad boys, and you'll be up for that full 35 hours. I guarantee it. God, I don't know if I'm going to actually make the stream tomorrow. Holy. I might... So I said I may be streaming tomorrow, but... I don't know, man. I don't know. Would I drink a 16-shot espresso? I'd probably go into cardiac arrest. Is Nick getting paid by Kirkland? What's going on here? Sean's about to come run in here looking for his cut? No, I'm not. But Costco, if you want to send me some hot dogs, you know, some glizzies and some cold brews, I wouldn't be opposed. I love M&M giveaways sponsored by Kirkland. Drugs are bad, caffeine is goated. All right. 192 looks to be the entries we're going to stop at here, so let us get this giveaway underway. Wait, I already... this thing is confusing. Hold on. History... Way... Pick winners. Majestic Tracks. M&M Goat. DAoC. Green... Greens? Labo? I don't even know. And Feud Jr. Congrats. M&M Goat. Did you make this account just for this giveaway? I'm sorry if I forgot that you existed for a second. I have to check the creation date on that account. But hey, you know, I respect the hustle. Never had a Twitch, but yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're doing here. No, maybe you are just actually signing up for the contest, but all right, congrats, guys. Please whisper me your M&M account, email, and Discord. Not everybody, just the winners. So, Majestic Tracks, M&M Goat, the Modius, Rita Labo, and Feud Jr. Yes, it shows on the screen right here. One. Did Goblin start his stream? It looks as if he did. So, guys, just, we're gonna get this raid going here shortly. Please, winners, whisper me. If you can't figure out how to whisper, you can always Discord message me as well in the M&M Discord. But yeah, just give me that M&M account email and get me your Discord if you want to access to the tester channels. But let us get this raid underway to the Goblin Works. You stick around, and yes, giveaway number 2 coming up. So let's show Goblin Works some love. I will, in fact, the more of you that stick around for this raid and are hanging out in his channel, the more keys that I will give away. So please stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Let us get the raid going. All right, thank you so much for the subs, follows, supporting Monsters and Memories, and just coming here to chat with me. Appreciate it as always, guys. See you in Goblin's channel. 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Stress test. Let's go. It's gonna be fun. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Stress test the hell out of this server, all right? Thanks again, guys. Have a good night. Let's get that raid going.